Hello from Atlanta. Dom Tiberi, joined by Bobby Carpenter, Adam King. You hear Bobby, 6 a.m., Monday through Friday, morning juice. And I got a feeling you'll be talking about a little game involving Ohio State and Notre Dame. By the way, Bob, the Buckeyes are national champions.
I mean, these are the best shows or the worst shows. When you win them, they're the best. If you lose them, it's a pit of despair. And people asked about the hot seat for Ryan Day. And I was doing this interview with ESPN Radio about 15 minutes ago, and I said, nothing probably cools off the hot seat quite like a Gatorade bath.
Yeah, no question about that. And, you and I have often talked, and Adam too, about this guy's an elite coach. Urban Meyer said he was an elite coach. You got Nick Saban saying the same amount. Now he's got the national champion to prove it.
I don't know if he needed that to prove it, but there's only 3 active coaches that have one. He is now one of those guys with Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney. And kudos to him. It's been a tumultuous road. It hasn't been the easiest path. They beat 4 of the best teams back to back to back, all by double digits, we might add. And people want to talk about the roster and everything else. These guys are at Ohio State because of Ryan Day. They play hard because of Ryan Day. And now they ultimately are national champions because of Ryan Day.
And, Bobby brings that up. Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and now Notre Dame. And I'll say it, it's the greatest run I've ever witnessed. I think it's the greatest run in Ohio State history. It's never been done before. And, these kids are celebrating, and they got a lot to celebrate.
Well, I was talking to Quinshawn after the game, and he said, we knew that nobody could beat us if we played to our potential and to who we are. And we're the Ohio State Buckeyes. And in this last 4 games, they wrote a movie. I mean, it was absolutely surreal to watch them take each step. From the Tennessee win that felt angry, from the Oregon that got the revenge, from the Texas that had Jack's moment that felt legendary, to now coming out here and truly leaving no doubt this season. And it's ironic that that was their mantra all year long. And that in order to leave no doubt, they had to beat 4 of the best teams in the country. And there is no one that can doubt this team. There is not a one, because they are national champions.
And give Ryan Day, Chip Kelly credit. That was a gutsy call down the stretch. That pass play to Jeremiah Smith to put the game away, that was huge.
It was everything you need in that moment. And there are times where, Ryan Day maybe wouldn't have done that in the past. And I think he said, you know what, let's go leave no doubt right here on this play. I loved it. I loved all the play calling throughout the playoffs. And I'm with Bobby over here. I don't think Ryan Day's on the hot seat anymore. I think national champion probably cures that for you. But also, I don't think he ever should have been on the hot seat. I think you could be frustrated with a coach. But every one of those players walking out of the locker room was yelling for their coach tonight. You don't do that unless you have built an immaculate culture.
Well, they gave him the brick after the game. That's all you need to know, right?
It is. And you think about this, all we talked about early in the season is Will Howard couldn't throw the deep ball. Well, in the biggest moment, I would have dialed up the comeback. They'd been throwing that all night. Ryan said, Adam, just leave no doubt and knock him out, and took the home run ball and landed that. Will put it right on the money. Great to the true freshman Jeremiah Smith. If you're going to give him single coverage, let's go get it. And they did it. It was a remarkable game. And it almost feels a little bit like the Miracle on Ice situation, where, you beat Texas in dramatic fashion. You come here and you think you should be winning. Notre Dame drives down on a 10-minute drive and punches you in the mouth, but how they responded. Touchdown, 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 taking the lead, boom, and you felt really good about it.
The other thing, and Hollywood could not have written a better script. This was just, they may make a movie about this someday, because it was absolutely amazing. Momentum's a funny thing, Bobby, and they got on a roll. You feel really good for the guys that came back, the Jack Sawyers, the JT Tuimoloau's, Will Howard, who came here for one reason. And by the way, I think he's going to be an excellent quarterback in the NFL. Cleveland Browns might want to figure out a way to get that guy.
Here's the thing. People, they've asked, this team still, they didn't beat Michigan. They still never won a Big Ten championship. And when they go in the Woody, and you've been in the atrium there, both of you, And they've got all the things in case. And they've got all the Big Ten trophies against the wall. And they've got the Heismans. And they've got wins over Michigan, all these areas. But in the middle there are those national championship trophies. And they may only have one. They have one trophy to their name for this class that's been here 4 and 5 years. But I'll be damned if it's not the best one you can have.
That's the one you want.
Building off of that, when we were at the Rose Bowl and they were raising up that trophy, one of the guys behind me goes, "Finally, we have some kind of hardware, finally." And, you know, in that moment, they're thinking, all right, I mean, I guess, you know, Rose Bowl's it's great, it's amazing, but this was what they wanted. Now they have hardware, they have the rings, and they are national champions.
Plenty to celebrate. One last thing, and you know, as Adam said earlier, spring practice is just around the corner.
10 days away, Bobby.
They're going to lose a lot of great leaders. But you know how things roll at Ohio State. What have you done for me lately? We're going to reload. And, you know, they're going to be a perennial team in this playoff. Why not get a magic run running?
So people talk about legacy. And they always view legacy as the trophies that you have in the trophy case, the rings, the banners. Legacy is truly what it looks like when you leave. And I am a firm believer that these seniors, the leaders on this team, were able to transition this culture and transition that leadership to this next generation, the Sonny Styles, the Caleb Downs, you know, the Jeremiah Smiths, the guys that are going to be coming back, the Luke Montgomerys, the Austin Sarabia, all Carson Hinsman, the guys that have been through all this now that will be returning, those guys are now well equipped to take the reins.
Why not reload, right?
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh, can we celebrate
Yeah.
for 2
Yeah,
hours?
there you go.
Goodness
Hey,
gracious.
that's the way it rolls. He's Adam King. He's Bobby Carpenter. I'm Dom Tiberi. Check this young man out. 97.1 The Fan, 6 a.m. Really, you go on at 6?
Bobby, it's like
I'll
1
be
a.m.
there.
now.
It's all right. I'm probably not going to go to bed.
That's
Morning juice with this man. We'll talk to you guys later. And let me say it again. Buckeyes are national champions.